Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Chris and I are back as we return to the Ash vs. Evil Dead series with Fire in the Hole and Ashes to Ashes. Ash has spent the last 30 years avoiding responsibility, maturity, and the terrors of the Evil Dead until a Deadite plague threatens to destroy all of mankind, and Ash becomes mankind's only hope.
Oh
Welcome back,
gosh,
Chris.
their only hope. That's no good.
Dun dun dun.
This guy is not to be relied upon.
I don't know, he's pretty consistent.
He has been doing a good job. He's killed more Deadites than the entire human population combined, I guess.
hmm
But he seems more interested in trying to hook up than he is to saving the world.
Yeah, we all need a hobby, eh?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm loving this show. Like we've talked about it. When it gets to the end of that second episode, and it's like, I have to wait a month to watch the next two because of the way our schedules are working out.
Mhm.
It's great. These shows are so funny. They have not lost anything off the initial pilot, which is one of the best comedy horror pilots I've ever seen. For a first episode, just they hit the ground running.
Just right
Um,
in the face. Poof, there you go. Welcome
yeah,
back.
and the fact that Sam Raimi directed the pilot and hasn't directed some of these, it hasn't lost much, if at all. I'm enjoying them, equally, every one. So, and these two are no exception.
Yeah, and it's all about the consistency, and I don't understand then why the latest movies have went the way they did.
Yeah, I haven't
Um,
seen all of them, but from what I've heard, they've completely done away with the whole lore. The Ash, it's just they try to remake it every couple of years as a whole different thing.
well, it's meant to be a continuation, but
Is it?
yeah.
But
So
they were,
the Evil Dead remake, they tried with Maya to make another female Ash, and you're like, what are you doing? Fair enough, have the character, blah blah blah, but don't just this weird culture of, oh, right, she has to have a chainsaw arm and all as well. It's like, no, don't do that.
oh,
And
that's
then,
awful.
yeah. And then the thing is, what was funny about that movie was at the end credits of that movie, they announced this show, and that just killed that movie. That was it. Dead. Nobody gave a shit. Everyone just went, oh!
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I
But
mean?
but like you've mentioned, you have Pablo and Kelly, these great characters. I'm pointing to them like they live upstairs. I don't know
Yeah.
why I did that. They have a
The
loft. Um, but you
boxing
have these
Pablo.
great characters and actors that they could have been using. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
such
And
a
then
shame.
Evil Dead Rise, they did the same thing. They tried to make another female Ash and
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
tropes for the chains. So it's like, no, don't do that. Here's a show showing exactly how you can bring new characters in and have them their own thing.
yes,
Because we actually see this in Fire in the Hole, like Kelly's repressed rage at the whole just situation and everything that's happened, just coming out.
yeah. She's lost both of her parents. She had to watch her mom kill her dad. I mean, it's been a rough go of it for her. She lost her whole life, her job. She's been possessed. I mean,
Yep.
it's that's what you call a bad month.
Yeah, and that's it. And just all of a sudden, this world is coming, basically hit her like a slap to the face, and just, oh, this is the real world. This stuff exists, and yeah, she's just letting rip. She's just
Yeah,
out for it in this episode.
yeah, for sure, for sure. What's up, Flea? I see Flea in the chat. How you
Look,
doing, buddy?
how do you remake perfection? You can't. That's what I don't believe in remakes, like especially a franchise. I guess continue the story, but stop. It's reminding me of the Aliens universe when they can't get past Ripley.
Hmm.
Does that if that makes sense? They can't get past the character of Ellen Ripley,
Yeah,
and they've been twisting themselves around in round circles, and now they're bringing her back apparently for something else, and you're like, what are you doing?
yeah, yeah,
They can with Bruce Campbell, like a clever thing they did with Evil Dead Rise was they had him appear in like a cameo. He's a recording on one of the records, one of the vinyl, played a tape. He was pretending to be a priest or something. So they could do it that, have him like a little voice here or there or a mention or something. The character doesn't mean they have to completely rate the character out, but they don't have to have Bruce Campbell doing this forever either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you have a good if you have like a good fantasy setting or sci-fi or anything or even a horror setting, it has to be if to last more than 10 years or so, and this is going on 30, 40 years, it has to be able to be larger than one individual. It would
Mhm.
be like Marvel movies, and it's like Spider-Man every single movie, like 30 movies in, like no one would care anymore. So I tried to avoid the Star Wars reference for you. That was for you, pal.
Yeah.
But that would be, but same thing. Star Wars would have been Luke Skywalker in every single movie. Like eventually, like you have to be able
Couldn't it do
to.
that? Well, and Marvel did it with Iron Man, though. They did it with Robert Downey Jr., didn't they?
He was certainly in a lot of them,
Yeah.
but they've had Fantastic Four, they've had Spider-Man on his own.
There's
They've
Sony,
had
though.
more.
Fantastic Four, Sony. Don't forget, different company.
Yeah, that's fair. That is true.
And then eventually
That's
they had to
true.
bring it all in. That's. But look how that's all collapsed. You know what I mean? They did the same thing. They just got fixated, couldn't leave it alone, and couldn't expand. And oh, broke Chris again. Ah, what are you
That
clicking?
that was my Doctor Strange that was my
Yeah.
Doctor Strange impersonation.
Yeah, but they've all done that. You know what I mean? They've run themselves into the ground. This show reinvigorated the franchise. As far as I'm concerned, it took the Evil Dead franchise to the next level. And
Oh,
we're seeing
this
it
was
now.
great. Yeah. This has to be the best um remake or sequel, the best way to do it, because a lot of times too they'll have the original character in it, but they'll only be using them to promote the new characters. And like if it was the Pablo and Kelly show, like 99% of the time, and you just sprinkled in Ash once in a blue moon, like that wouldn't be rewarding as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the perfect balance, bringing in new characters, having them have scenes on their own, having them stand on their own, but featuring the person that you love the most about the original,
Yep.
IP, which is
But
Ash.
preparing for the handover, the handing of the torch.
Yes, it's
You
a
know what
bit
I mean?
in,
Because this is like 5 episodes into the first season.
yeah.
We're still getting to know Kelly and Pablo. We're still getting to develop into the Deadite fighting team, if that makes sense. So it's
Yes,
too
yes.
soon to be like ditching Ash.
Yeah.
However, for the franchise to grow, that's what needs to happen is Ash Williams as a character needs to step back. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's all to do with rights and stuff and studio crap in the background as well with this stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, this aired on Stars originally, then Netflix bought it so the last season could happen.
But for a TV show, the production value has been great. It feels like a continuous movie from the movie franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, just scene to scene to scene of the same, even with a different director. It's like the story continues.
yeah, it's been very enjoyable. So yeah, I can't wait for the next one. But these two definitely were on par with the first four.
Yep. Yeah, but fair and whole, obviously, we'll get them see the militia camp, and yeah, they didn't do too well.
It was it was a great take on it, because I always think about in a world where all this devastation is happening, I always like to think like what is the response, but besides just the few characters. And yeah, this would be like a proper response, like a true military, like we could take it out, we could take these guys, don't worry about it, like let's get out. And they got their asses handed to them.
Yeah, just absolutely annihilated. It was just like, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes when you encounter a Deadite.
Yeah, yeah.
God, one thing I'm not impressed though, that CGI squirrel at the start, like, what the hell? What the hell was that?
Yeah. And
Why?
their CGI has been pretty good for a TV show, especially one that's, not a year or two old. This is somewhat dated, although it's not that old, but the CGI has certainly come a long way. And yet it's been solid up until that squirrel. That squirrel was a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why? Who
Yeah.
thought that was a good idea, and who looked at that and went, "Is that a case of, oh shit, we spent the money now, I may as well use it"?
Yeah, I'm sure the editor's like, I can't do you wrong. You spent 80,000 on this thing, so I'll put it in. Squirrel.
Yep. I just love the fact that these survivalists instantly turn on the people that look as if they know what's going on and don't have the thought, even for a proper interrogation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But looking at Ash, it doesn't seem like he's got a ton of information. I mean, he does, but on the surface level, just his persona and everything like that, like this doesn't seem like a guy that would be worth an hour of waterboarding,
No, but not even
So
waterboarding, just like sit them down, get the gen. That's the whole, or I know they're parodies of a character, but
yeah.
how the whole thing is survivalists. They're not surviving very well, are they? Because the first thing they encounter, they fall to pieces. It's like I see them as the same vein as airsofters, except they're using live rounds.
What's a Ursofter?
You never heard of airsoft?
Oh, like the paintball, like the
Yeah, but they're
gotcha.
pellets.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's true.
Have you ever seen the clip of those people?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I equate survivalists to. They're just airsofters, but they have live rounds rather than pellets. Oh, he's frozen again. Have you got the Necronomicon? Did you plug your Wi-Fi into the Necronomicon?
I might have plugged it into the wrong hole, which happens sometimes, and then not usually to good results.
Yeah, it's many divorces happen that way.
If it happens one more time, I'll try to do something before I come back in. But yeah, no, the survivalist militia are not really known for being great listeners. So I didn't have a problem with it, but I see your point. Like they would have been a lot more effective if they had just asked what was going on.
Yeah, I just think it's hilarious. They call themselves survivalists and they do everything that's the opposite of surviving. Yeah. That's what it's sort of like. Okay.
That's true. And not to get too far ahead of us, but I could have sworn at the end when they just unlocked them and started with, walk away with their backs turned, I thought for sure that they were going to get shot in the back. Even though they saved their lives, even though they helped the militia, the militia are still pretty annoyed about having been locked up. And, I don't know. I could have sworn that was coming, and then Bruce Campbell Ash was gonna have to like shoot him behind his back or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I was glad it didn't go that route, so that they're
alive.
It
would have been the end of the show very quickly.
Yeah.
But so obviously we get the classic. Oh, there's nothing wrong. Stick the head out the door. Oh yeah, we know how that's going. But I think that's a whole comedy bit, isn't it? You just know it's so telegraphed. You're like, yeah, we know how this is going down. Okay, but handcuffing Ash and Fisher together and throwing them into the bunker after Liam, it's a bit severe.
That is a death sentence. That's clearly from their perspective. That's a horrible way to die. They know this creature has been killing their friends. They know how awful it is, and to handcuff them together and push them down, that was pretty brutal.
But once again, back to I'm a bit fixated on this because I just think the term survivalist is a bit of a joke. It's done.
Yeah.
Okay, so these things inhabit dead bodies that they kill. Let's give them 2 more, and then instead of being 1, there's 3 of them.
Right. Yeah. That literally goes against the word survivalist. The idea should be to promote survivalism. You want more humans to survive, less of the undead creatures. So that's just basic math that the guy got wrong. It didn't make sense, and that's why he was such a caricature of a bad guy, the survivalist, that I really thought at the end when they unlocked him that he was going to attack them because he was not thinking clearly.
I think what they do though is because of the whole. Once again, if this was like a serious drama, you could see that, but because it's a comedy, almost like they're bringing in the episodal that basically when we meet new characters, they're just traveling through. They're not sticking around. So that sort of story arc's kind of wrapped up.
Right. Yeah, his job is done at that point.
Mhm.
But he's one of the few non-major characters to survive, this guy. So maybe he, maybe as a survivalist, good for him.
Yeah, well done.
The police chief, the guy at the bookstore. I mean, there hasn't been many the manager at the Super Saver. There hasn't been many people that have survived, and so kudos to him.
But anyway, we'll have to go. Then we jump to the most important scene in this entire franchise. Like I may have over the time paused this once or twice, just to soak in the importance, and that's obviously Lucy Lawless and her boobies coming back from the dead.
Yeah, I did not expect her to sign off on that.
Well, I think that was her. I think it awakened something inside her because have you seen Spartacus: Blood and Sand?
No.
Check that out.
Okay.
She doesn't hold back. Like, oh,
Yeah. More like Lucy Brawless. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, that that was a scene. Like to have been an extra that day, working an intern or whatever.
I was just happiness. That's I think I was for all the Xena fans. Definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, right. That was lots of teenage boys in their own mind just went back to that moment of
yeah, for sure. I like what they're doing with her character. Like they're just giving you little, doses of her. That was 2 very big doses, but they're not like overplaying her. And so when they eventually, I'm assuming when she eventually meets up with Ash, I think it's going to be more impactful. I like the way they're really, they're not overdoing her scenes.
Yeah, it's building up. It's building up for the meeting or the encounter or whatever it's going to be.
Because I thought because she had mentioned something about the cabin in a previous episode, I thought because they were going to the cabin, like this might be a time where we do see them, meet up or, get together somehow.
That's the thing, though. I think because we're so used to terrible TV shows that jump the shark and rush and basically throw all the plot out in the first couple of episodes, the pacing of this is brilliant. They know where they're taking you, and they're not afraid to hold back. You know what I mean? They're not just going to splurge it all out. They're letting the audience know, right? This is building up to something. We're going somewhere with this, and once again, it's just clever.
I'm sorry.
It's a comedy show. It's a goofy, blood-soaked gore fest, adult humor, just slockiness, but it's 100 times more articulate and better storytelling than some of the high level, drama out there or the auteur stuff or whatever that we're meant to like lord over. Like other shows should be embarrassed.
I agree. Now, I will say, just to be fair, play devil's advocate, I feel like they had a built-in advantage as far as the pacing goes because they knew that this was going to be popular. So they didn't have to rush to get all of their best story beats out in the first few episodes. There are shows that are brand new IPs, which don't have that built-in fan base, that don't have the luxury of playing it out slowly over a full season, unless a studio committed to them for a full season. Oftentimes, at least back in traditional days of TV, I know it's differently now with the streaming services, but you might only have like a 4 to 6 episode buy-in, and then depending on the ratings, then they would pay for the rest of the series. So the season. So, a lot of times shows, I think it naturally hurts them because they have to force everything in the first few episodes. This knew going in that it was going to be a success because of the fan base. So I think it allowed them to play out the story.
They could have what have you done?
That was my mic drop moment. I made a point and then
they're just like, wait. They could easily. The thing is, though, they could have easily being lazy and oh, they're just Evil Dead fans, they'll watch anything, which a lot of franchises have done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they haven't went down that road. And I think as well, they're possibly going down that road with the later movies, which I'm worried about because they're not rewatchable.
Okay.
They don't have the same rewatchability as the original three or this TV show. In fact, I think I've nearly watched this TV show more times than the first two movies. I have watched this TV show multiple times and I don't get bored with it.
I can see that. This is my first go through, but I'm absolutely loving it. It's so funny.
It's the aliens from the Three Liga. Ah, yes, that's it. It's all a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy to take us down.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the new movies, but I'm guessing they don't have the same tone. Like are they more serious than movies?
Yeah, doesn't have the same comedy. The Evil Dead, the 2013 remake that came out just before this series, tried to be all serious, and then it went a bit ridiculous at the end. But once again, it just tried too hard to be the original. And here's Maya now; she's the new Ash. They tried too hard with that.
Okay.
There's people disagree with me, but the fact is, the movie is forgotten. Apart from internet people wanting to have internet conversations to say how great it is just for the sake of scoring points, people don't generally gravitate towards that movie, and it's all about rewatchability. Where box sets of the original, well, you can't get the original three because of the licenses, but the box sets of the first three movies always resell. We always keep going back to them. Nobody's went back to the remake.
Okay.
And then Evil Dead Rise, there's a bit of chatter when it came out. I didn't hate it, but at the same time, the characters, I'm going, ugh, you couldn't get behind them. Where if you think about the original, they're just a bunch of, well, kids. I'll use that term loosely. Young adults going to a cabin for a weekend, and they weren't egregious, you know what I mean? And they were just dealing with what happened. You got behind them. Where the Evil Dead Rise, the more I think about it, I have not. I've only watched it twice, and I haven't felt the need to go back.
Yeah,
where I can stick the show on anytime and still enjoy it. I can stick the original movies on anytime, even the remake. The 2013 remake. I can stick on and watch, but I'm not with it. You know what I mean? I'm not there.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm curious to watch them just for a comparison, but certainly not something that I'm anxious to do from what it sounds like. But
you might want to catch up because Evil Dead Burden will be coming out next year.
Yeah,
and obviously we'll be adding it to the list.
Okay,
when it comes out. So
I got some homework to do.
Yep.
All right.
Because I've still got it. You know what I mean? Obviously, I've still got to check it out, and I know what Sam Raimi's trying to do. He's trying to get independent directors, new directors, give them a chance with the franchise. But when I watched Lee Cronin's The Hole, I was like, how do these two go together? If that makes sense. I'm not seeing it, but I get what Sam Raimi's trying to do. In fact, and that's remarkable in itself. The fact that he's not relying on his own ego, that he's prepared to, here, come on board. You're not well known. I like what you do, whatever it is. He sees something in them, and he's giving them a shot. Fair play.
I think that's the greatest gift that a successful director could do, is to allow other unknown directors, give them their shot. Because if you just rely on the studios to pick the next great director, they don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes like a good director to recognize another good unknown director on his way up, or her way up. Let's be fair. But so yeah, I think that's awesome that Sam Raimi is using his success in that way to give back.
Yeah, that's why I can't be. While I have issues and see bits, I want them to move away from the female Ash.
Yeah.
I want them to bend that idea. It doesn't work. And it's
And I don't-
counterproductive.
yeah, and I don't think you have to be a copy of Ash to be successful in this type of movie. I think
Kelly,
Kelly is a perfect example. She's tough, but she's very different from Ash, and that's not a bad thing. You don't want to be a clone of a character.
no, and this is where, once again, back to this episode, we get
Yeah.
uh Kelly and Pablo, and I just love the way Pablo he has the most important question to ask. He's having this existential crisis. Who am I? What type of man am I? Who? And then Kelly thinks it's all about trying to get with her again, and she completely misses the beat.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you picked up a gun. You knew exactly who you were. You picked that up and blah, blah, blah. Who am I? Am I an ex guy? I'm a chainsaw guy? Who am I?
But I love that he's wearing her down. Like she's starting to like Pablo. It's taken a
I think
long
she
time.
always has. No, I don't
Did you?
think it's
Yeah.
beginning to. I think she always has. It's that weird, uh, you know, he's in the friend, he got roped quickly into the friend zone because the type of person he is. And now
Right.
he's become accepting and he's sort of stepped out of the friend zone because he's developing himself as a character. Like
Right.
Pablo goes on a great journey in this, by the way. I'm not spoiling it for you ahead, but Pablo gets he goes on his own journey and builds up same way with Kelly being possessed and that, and she's going through her character arc. We're giving these two a chance to grow,
Yeah.
and they don't need Ash to support them with every scene. For example, when they're here and that whole scene with the guy in the gas mask, brilliant.
That was awesome because that's not the to get to the guy in the gas mask where he has to remove the mask from this this deadite creature that they just killed. Like you don't see that in a lot of horror movies. Everyone always seems okay of that type of moment where they've killed the creature, they now have to take wear the costume. Like it's a very common trope, right? You have to dress up as the killed character
Mm-hmm.
to pass off as one of the bad guys. We've seen it in many franchises, but it's tougher that you just killed this person and now you have, and then let alone the fact that it's a deadite. So I thought that scene was great, and the way Pablo was like so skittish about doing it, I'm like, yes, that's how a normal person would react,
Yeah.
trying to take that mask and like expecting like the creature to come to life at any moment. That was so
Yep.
cool.
And then Kelly going from the all of them.
Yeah.
And then the blood just spread everywhere. Apparently, they used absolute gallons of stuff, and that was the thing because when it dries, it probably like pulls your hair and stuff and all. And that's what they're saying with this show, that they were just covered all the time, and it was all right for the first 20 minutes, but then it all starts to dry on them, and it just got painful.
Yeah. And I know you were happy because there hasn't been much digital blood. It's been a lot of practical blood.
Proper
Proper.
spraying everywhere. That's, you can't fake that. You can't. You have to go back. That's one thing. Not even just saying old school. That's proper school how to do effects for these sort of movies,
Yeah.
and that's something that should never be lost. God, when I was having a chat with Chris Ambries, we were talking about that. And the younger ones don't understand because used everything being, doing this all the time. No tactility, or even artists now are like digital artists, more than actual crafting and stuff.
Yeah.
But you need to keep that alive. And we were talking about, maybe have competitions or something for practical artists, and have like a series of challenges and make it into like a YouTube show or something.
That'd be cool.
Just anything to keep the flame alive, and keep the interest there, and to bring up the next generation of artists. Because just looking at this, like, if that was digital blood, it would be awful. It just wouldn't land. Like the whole joke as well, and the
Yeah.
reaction. It's easy to react when something's actually pissing in your face, as opposed to look at a tennis ball. It doesn't work.
Yeah. If you took the comedy out of the show, like it actually works as a proper horror show. I mean, thankfully the comedy is what makes it so enjoyable to me.
Mhm.
It wouldn't be something that I would like per se, but I would say that actually this all looks good and this all would be scary and would be effective as a yeah, and that's a credit to the practical effects and the directors in this so far. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's clever writing. It's actually we've got emotional journeys of the cast, the characters. We've got that gravitas. I mean, it's not just Kelly still, she hadn't just got over the death of her parents that she watched get murdered right in front of her.
Right.
And that whole thing, she hasn't gotten over that, which she wouldn't do. Let's be honest. It's not like, oh well, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's
Pablo
affected
still,
her.
yeah, and that's 100%. But it's not being overdone. I mean, it's just coming out when, funny enough, that's how trauma works. It comes out at the wrong times, because not everything fits into a box.
Right. Right.
That's clever. That's understanding people and clever writing.
Yeah. No, her character's been very believable, very realistic, but also very enjoyable
Yep.
as she fits into this universe. She holds her own in scenes with Bruce Campbell, which is not always easy to do. She's not a wallflower. She doesn't, a shrinking violet. I don't
Mhm.
know where all these phrases are coming from. I'm an old man, but she definitely holds her own, and on those scenes, it's been really enjoyable. And I'm glad she's a friend of the channel.
Yeah. And then Pablo as well. He's doing the same. He's going on his own journey. I mean, they're not going exactly the same, which would be so easy just to have them do exactly the same thing, but they're not. He's going on his own journey. He's had trauma too with the death of his uncle, but he managed to have reconciliation and he's understanding who he is. And now they haven't just jumped from episode 1 to episode 2 to being this super duper fight and fit team. They're still getting there. They're still learning.
Yeah.
And that's great. You know what I mean? We're not being rushed. But it's not a dead slow pace. That's what I said. The pace in this is fantastic. And
Yes. Tremendous pacing so
I
far.
haven't seen anything like this. Apart from maybe Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, which are still like my top 2 TV shows.
Okay.
But I'm not a big fan of TV, as you know, but those two, like, they are, I don't think I put a foot wrong in those two. And that's a prequel show as well. You know what I mean? That's just an example of how you keep a story, good storytelling and keep things tight. And when you bring in new characters, keep things focused. And that's what this show's doing. And everything else pales in comparison.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, we then have this. Then we're back to Ruby. She's like, realizes Ash's hand's gone missing, and she's like racing off. But I thought, no, Fisher didn't take the car. That's right. Fisher jumped. She was going to take the car, but she jumped in the Oldsmobile. That's right.
Right.
Silly me. Right. So yeah, the Camaro was still there. But I love the way it's got its built-in like Kandarian dagger holder section.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the tough part because we are watching it probably like 6 weeks in between, well,
Mhm.
2 at a time, but we're watching it 6 weeks in between. So you do forget some of the little details like that. But yeah, I love all the. I mean, we get more in the second episode, so I don't want to give too much away. But I love all the references to some of the lore that was in Army of Darkness and the other Evil Dead movies up until this point that were made. And the dagger holder was another nice touch. Like there's just been like all these little nuances that you don't need to know about it, but if you're a fan of the movies, it must have been so great when this first came out
Mhm.
to see that for the first time and like, oh my gosh, that they remembered that. It was more so in the second episode. You get a lot of references to the
Oh yeah,
movie.
because that's
Yeah,
that's back to the cabin, baby.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the strangest thing they did here in this episode was the Fisher Ash like love hearts thing. That was so forced and so strange.
we were just saying how the pacing of the show has been very good. Not exactly the pacing of this relationship. It does feel very uh yeah, forced is a good way to put it. But it almost was overdone for comedic purposes. So I was
Yeah,
okay with it because it was so over the top. It was so quick. Like she was just trying to kill him, like a second ago, and like now, you know, they're lovey-dovey, as no
yep.
one says. Um, yeah, a little bit forced for sure.
But yeah, I sort of go, okay, where is this coming from? And then back to what you were saying, like previous episode, it's where does this character fit in? It's that whole thing, isn't it? It's like she's a square peg.
Yeah, it was, and it could just be me missing out on things or not interpreting the signals that the director was putting out there. But at this point in the show, every other character, a lot more about them that have had the
Hmm.
same similar amounts of screen time. Like their motivations, a little bit about their backstory. You have an idea of what they're going to say or do next. And I'm not sure if it's the actress or the writing or a combination, but I just haven't had a good feel for her. Like nothing that she does makes sense, and it's tough to anticipate what she's going to do. And there are certain characters, like a villain or someone who's a little bit crazy, where you want that. But
Hmm.
in a supposedly good character or protagonist, when you're not able to anticipate what they're doing or why they're doing it, it can be a little frustrating as a TV viewer. Like what I don't know this character. Like she's not really fitting in. She's not making sense to me.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's what we're getting here. It's um, and then you're thinking, okay, where are they going with this? And then obviously find out. But then the end scene where Ash is basically just falling up, and then he's like, "Yeah, yeah, we're gonna go," and then he just vanishes. He's like, "Nah," you know.
I love that. I love that choice because it makes sense from what he just said. He's like, for the first time in all of the movies, dating back to his original girlfriend, was it Linda, his original
Linda, yeah.
girlfriend? So outside of that, like this is the first time he's made like real connections with people, and he realizes he's about to go to a place where no one survives. So for him to, trick them into leaving, so that he doesn't put them at risk, I thought was such a cool moment that was earned because it's a character who's been very selfish in the past. So, to the casual viewer who hasn't been watching these episodes, if they've just seen the movies, they were like, well, why would he do that? He would want all the help he can get. But if you've seen it, it felt earned. If you've watched the episodes in, sequentially like we have, he is developing, feelings about these people, and he doesn't want them to get hurt. And it's a character growth moment where he decides that he's going to try to save them by, not showing them where the house is, and trying to do it all himself. I thought it was great. I thought it was earned, and it felt appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, where we understand more for them. It actually gives more nuance to the movies. They're just ordinary people. It was just a weekend. It was just a weekend before they went on to do the next stage of their life.
Yeah.
And Ash's life was turned upside down, like completely.
Yeah.
I know Evil Dead 2 is a sort of quasi remake of Evil Dead 1. It's a strange thing that they did.
Yeah.
But technically, he's been through Army of Darkness as well. If you go with not the original ending, but the release ending, which I never knew about. I only ever watched the original ending. For some reason, we got the original ending in the UK.
Which is the one where he
Army,
goes to an apocalypse? Which ending was
yeah, that's
that?
the original ending, which
Okay.
wasn't actually released in cinemas, except we got it for some reason.
Okay.
It's very strange because I remember watching this and going, all right, that's, he goes forward in time. And then everyone was talking like years later, this is pre internet, obviously, because I'm old. But I remember everybody talking about this other alternate ending. I'm like, what alternate ending? And then they're showing this one, like, no, that's the original ending. And then it turns out there's this whole other ending where he goes back and does the S word thing. And they're like, all right,
Right.
okay,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
okay. So that was the cut, the lovey-dovey sort of happy ending version that they played for.
So that's what the one that we're assuming that this universe.
Yeah,
is-
that's this universe ends.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Tied into.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. So yeah, he's been through the mill, and I think everything about his persona, which comes out every now and again, is just a mechanism to cope and push people away. He deliberately doesn't want to form relationships.
But he could have pushed these people away at any point up until now, and I feel like he's only doing it now because he feels like this is a death sentence.
Yeah, that's to say,
Yeah.
like you said, he's
Yeah.
developed the connections. He's had that moment of I can't bring these people.
Yeah.
He's got that warm, fuzzy feeling. He's had that moment. I can't bring these people here.
Yeah. It was great.
It's just a blink of the moment decision of, oh shit, no.
Yeah, I think that's how the episode ended, right? Where they're like Ash, they're looking for, which I think it was great because a lot of times, you want a cliffhanger ending for this type of show, and this was an emotional cliffhanger, which I thought was so smart. It's a bold choice for a director to do it this way, as opposed to seeing like the hand crawling and about to like find them or some sort of like impending doom like we saw with the character Lem, who was about to get killed in the previous one. This was an emotional cliffhanger, which I thought was a really, really smart way of doing it. And in a season of multiple episodes, to have some variety at the way that a show ends, I think is very smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I said, other shows could take note.
Yeah.
This should be a benchmark. But once again, horror. Can't have nasty horror movies or horror shows, Normies, funny. But yeah, I think this was the episode everyone as an Evil Dead fan was waiting for. Ashes to Ashes.
Oh, yes.
I think everyone was waiting for this. Like, when's the cabin coming back? Because the cabin is as much a character than anything else in this franchise.
Yeah. This episode was the highlight for me. If I had just watched this one episode, it would hold up. You would miss out on some of the nuances of Pablo and Kelly, but literally, if you had to show fans of the movie who are like, I don't know if I want to watch a whole TV show, if you just show them this one episode, they would be hooked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was fantastic. This is definitely the highlight of the season, and they've all been great.
Yep, but obviously Ash knows the way, and it's burned into his brain and his psyche where this cabin is. He could find it in his sleep. I mean, it's had such an impact, and coming up to it, of course, all the animals around are all like gone, dead and damn, because it's just reeks of death. That's the whole point of it.
Right. And I love the location. It's such a suburban, spot that's like deep in the woods. So it kind of makes sense that like no one, goes there and stuff like that or knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole look of it was great. I was curious. I meant to do it, but I didn't get a chance to do it. To go back to the original movie and just kind of like freeze frame it and does it look? Did they get it right? The staging of it, did it look like the one?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because it wasn't sure, and plus,
it's the cabin, right? It's just one of them. It's the way it's shaped, the way it's built. The cabin.
Yeah.
If you get it wrong, like it's not the cabin. If that makes sense.
Right. And it matched up with your memory of what it looked like from the movies.
Like, here we are, we're back. No, yes, it's different. It's not exactly. It's different lighting and all, but it's the cabin.
Okay, cool.
And that's the thing. This is the most iconic cabin. Like, they've done Cabin in the Woods type movies have been done like ad infinitum at this point.
Right.
The Evil Dead cabin, it.
Yeah. This is what the cabin in the woods is done.
Have you seen that movie, The Cabin in the Woods?
No.
Good, because I haven't done it on the channel yet, and it's a parody of the Evil Dead franchise, and it's a comedy horror.
Okay.
And that's what I was going to talk to you about after this is,
All right.
potentials for adding to the list. And that's definitely one I think you would enjoy.
Okay. But yeah, it's iconic. It was and I love that he had to like charge up the generator to get the lights on, and like all the little nuances, the tape recorder, um
The fact
just
it's still there.
the work shed. It even
Yep.
says work shed, which is one of my favorite lines of all time. Work shed. um oh, it was great. Yeah. It was like you said, it was a character of its own, and it did a great job.
Um, yeah, of course, he hears before he's about to step in, he hears the footstep behind him, and he's about to blow Fisher's head off. And you're like, okay, Fisher's the one that finds him. Is this where they start this budding romance? She, or she can't smell. I don't think she's somebody who naturally smells,
Right. It comes off very weird,
doesn't
right?
it? It's
Yeah.
like Scooby's just doing the pouty thing, the hard nosed cop. You know what I mean? It just seems to fit. But when she's trying to like smell, and I haven't seen anything with the actress, in interviews and stuff, so I don't know if that's her or this is an actual deliberate thing for the character.
Right. Right.
Very, very strange. You keep every time she tries to like smile and stuff, you're going, What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're not being mean. That's a fair assessment that I felt similarly watching her. Um, I will say did not expect what happens to her in this episode. That was a legitimate shock for me. Um, which is great because you don't want to be able to predict who's going to survive to the end of the season. Like you want those surprises, mid-season. I don't know,
Well,
like I forget how many episodes we are, but this is not.
6 episodes in.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like as far as like how many total there are. Is this like halfway? Is this
There's 3 seasons of 10 episodes, 30 episodes. So we're
okay? So
what,
this is about halfway, maybe slightly more. You don't
about
expect a character
a
like
third of the way
her,
in.
third of the way in. Okay, you don't expect a character like
The
her
mouse is terrible.
to get I
But
maybe she comes back, but you don't expect her to get
but you
uh
don't think this is part of the thing as well that we've been deliberately been led up why she doesn't quite fit in because that was the plan.
maybe.
This is why I have to avoid, like I said, I have to sort of be very cagey when I'm doing these with you
Oh,
because
because
I don't
you
want
know.
to ruin
Yeah.
it. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
But you're starting to see the breadcrumbs. Okay, why doesn't she quite fit in? Oh, that's why.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
nothing's happening in this cabin, right? Like, there's no music, there's no deadites doing anything, yet you feel the dread. Did you feel it, or is it just me? Like, just that
No,
opening scene they're in, they're just walking around. Nothing's happening at all in this cabin.
no, I absolutely felt it. And I think you have to have seen the original movies
Yes,
to.
that's what I'm thinking. Is it me, or is it the remembering the movies that
Yeah.
just imprints this in your brain? Like, I can't stress enough how iconic the Evil Dead franchise, like those first movies. Oh my goodness! Like you can't take it away. It's just cinema gold. It's
Yeah.
genius.
And I think and the way they did it too, they had like these like flashing images of what like could happen but doesn't. Like they had like at one moment because Ash was talking about the floorboard. I wouldn't go close to it. And there's like an image of like a creature with their head halfway up, but then a
That
second
was
later it's
wasn't Linda. It was his sister. Oh God, Cheryl? Was it Cheryl?
okay. Yeah, I think you're right. But then so like the pops the head up and then but then like a second later it's gone. It's like did that happen? Did it not happen? Like the director did a great job playing on your nostalgia, playing on your memory. and also just creating like a really heightened scene that in a comedy horror is, you don't expect it to be that impactful and suspenseful. It was
But
very,
that's the
very
whole
good.
point of the genre, though. It's the roller coaster. It's the taking you up there. You know what I mean? And then the comedy's the levity part to bring you back down to take you up the next bit. That's what
Yeah.
comedy horror does so well. When it's I think you have to appreciate the horror aspect. A lot of comedy horror written by comedians forget about the horror aspect, and that's where it kind of falls flat. But you need both. It's a tightrope. Once again, it's like comedy's not easy. I wouldn't I
No.
wouldn't know where to begin. You know what I mean? Just don't have that sort of mindset. I'd love to be able to do it, but I know that I just couldn't write comedy to save my life.
Yeah, it's a very, very hard thing to get right. There's been so many examples of it trying to be forced and it just doesn't work. And yeah, it they do it great on this show, but in this particular episode, they really leaned into the horror aspect and the comedy was only here or there. Like when he's
Mm.
insulting
Himself.
himself and yeah. Or when he's attacking his girlfriend's head, there were some great moments, but most of it was just impactful and suspenseful in a good way.
Yeah, and that's it. We see Ash's hand, obviously, the eyeball. We know what's happening next. You know what I mean? It's we get Ash first and two. Basically, evil Ash reborn again.
That's right. That's right. That's one of the most iconic fight scenes in cinema, right? When he fights against himself.
Yep.
In which
Army of
movie was that?
Darkness.
Army of
Army of
Darkness.
Darkness.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that to see that, recreated in a way was epic. It was so good.
Yep. And I just love the way, bum knee, doof, bad back, doof. You know what I mean? The self-depreciating humor in this, you're a dick.
Oh wait, the best one. Yeah, the bum knee, bad back, but you're
Yep.
forgetting about the best one.
Oh, the false
So-
teeth.
No.
What?
Soft balls kicks him.
Yep.
Soft balls.
Like,
Oh my god, that was so
that's
funny.
that's some other expense of self-loathing you've ever encountered in your life. Like you know every inch of your body and you despise it.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, but once again, we know. This is another insight into Ash Williams' character. We know it's bravado. We know it's deflection. We know this is a deeply traumatized person, and it's scenes like this that bring it all out.
Yeah. I think that scene is one of the many reasons why this is my favorite episode. It was great. I could watch an entire season of just him fighting himself.
Great times. Then, obviously, then we'll have Callie and Pablo are still, because they all went out to search for him. They know the cabins within the area, so they split up because that's what you do in horror movies.
Of course.
Yep.
When has it ever gone wrong? It's
No.
100% foolproof.
I love the way that fish are going the road, like, and then Callie just stayed together.
They just told her they were separating.
Yeah.
We're all gonna split up, and then the two of them just walk together.
Yeah. Bastards. That is a classic. You're not part of our gang sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
How to tell somebody they're not welcome without telling them exactly they're not welcome. But then we get some random Aussie tourists.
Yeah, I was thinking
forgot
of
Samara Weaving was in this.
who is Samara Weaving?
She's the one with the blonde hair. She's she's done loads of horror movies.
Oh, she's
well-known names, and I forgot that she was in this.
Yeah. I thought of Dell for some reason with the, but it's not New Zealand, but still, just it seemed like so random for Australian hikers to be in the woods of Michigan of all places. And you know what, my good buddy, it was a little too random, and it got me thinking.
Oh dear, is this what it takes?
Yes, I have to be in frame when I do my thinking. You don't want to be off frame. That's horrible.
Oh no, we can't do anything in off frame. Like that's the worst thing ever. I guess you know where we're going then.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chris's crazy theory.
So before we
hold
go,
for camera?
did you look on the map and you know where Australia is? Yes.
I did.
Because there's this. Have you seen the Preacher show?
No.
There's this scene in it where, oh my god, I still can't get over it. Where they try to start a civil war or start a war between Australia and New Zealand, and they have the Australia-New Zealand border.
As a joke, or they just didn't know?
I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
For you Americans, you don't know, because honestly, anything outside your country, you're like, oh,
So we're not the best at geography, but you know what? We can't be great at everything. Have you seen our hamburgers? We got like all kinds of chicken, and that's used as the bun. So you got chicken, hamburger, bun. I mean,
yeah,
we can't be
cholesterol,
great at everything.
diabetes,
Yeah,
heart
they're
failure,
like the,
liver failure.
yeah.
Yep, just get it all in there.
So if we're great
Who
at
wants to
diabetes,
live to your 60, eh?
we can't be great at everything. You see how many ice cream flavors we got? We're awesome at that, and we should just stick with that. But for our friends just joining us, so yes, we take you to Pablo and Kelly, lost in the woods, and they come across the iconic vehicle of Sam Raimi's, which was I've learned through this channel and through you and Cam educating me, is appears in every one of Sam Raimi's movies. So if we cut to slide 1.
Doink.
Wow, that was quick. Yeah, so we have them in the woods looking at the car. So it shows that they've been getting lost because they're circling and coming back to the same place. And they're like, yeah, that's a good reason to know that you're lost when you've been walking for an hour.
That was a great set of dialogue, wasn't
it? Yeah, I like that.
Was...
And I've been there with my son, lost in Brooklyn. I thought we were making progress, and then we found our parking lot car. So I feel for them. I know that feeling. But then next, they were like, they see the Aussie hikers, as you mentioned, and they said we should ask them where we're headed. Makes sense. So let me start with this. Is this what hikers look like to you in the real world?
These are horror hikers.
Hikers.
This is what every teen, once again, you know, a slasher movie. This is just the way it is. It's if they were dressed normally, it would be like a proper serious one. Like we can't have the Descent all the times.
Well, the dress, yeah. Not even the way the clothing that they're wearing aside. Just look how beautiful these people are. Like, these are not what typical hikers look like. What typical hikers look like is this. Now look, I hate to bash this guy, but look, if you're walking in the woods, this is much more likely what you were going to run into. And if you feel bad for this guy, at least you don't have to look at him every day in the mirror. But this is what hikers look like, not what we just saw. So that got me thinking already. Something strange is going on with these hikers. And I had to take a little bit of a deeper dive and figure out what's going on. So look, there is the beauty bias, otherwise known as the halo effect. And I've done research on this. It's just the effect of people that are more attractive. Other people tend to follow them. I mean, we see it in politics. We see it in business. It's a very common thing. They are the types of people that other people acclimate towards, and they tend to follow. So I started to think there's a reason why.
Thank you to the 1,200 people so far that think we're beautiful. Love
yes.
you.
So I started to think there's got to be a reason why it was these hikers, and what are they actually doing in the scene? Well, they're helping Pablo and Kelly find the house. So who is motivated to help them find the house. And obviously, being attractive, that Pablo and Kelly would want to follow them. There was 2 females for Pablo to be attracted to. There was even a guy for Kelly to be attracted to. And these are the types of people that they would listen to. But who's motivated to get them to come to the house? Why would anyone want them to find the house? Besides Ash, who obviously had nothing to do with these hikers. The house itself is powerful. We've seen, as you get closer to it, all the things that it can do. Killing creatures, bringing them back to life, making, things appear, reappear, Linda, all that. So the house wants Pablo and Kelly to be there. Why? Because it wants Ash to suffer. And Ash didn't want them to come there because he didn't want them to die at the house. The house wants Pablo and Kelly to be there so that Ash could see them suffer. So the house is actually what sent these 3 Aussie hikers to try to help Pablo and Kelly get to it. Now, we need to go a little bit further. How were they able to summon these, and who are these hikers? We get more clues about that. So this one says, I haven't seen a guy since we started this dumb hike. So they've been traveling a long time. I would say years and years and years, and I'll get to why. But this is the first clue. Haven't seen a guy since we started this dumb hike. Well,
you know what? That almost make you want to start hiking, wouldn't it?
Audience.
If that's a chance, it's worth. So we'll get our hiking boots and our rucksacks. Yeah, coming tomorrow. That'd be a great ad campaign.
It would.
Go hiking. There's Samara Weavings in the woods looking for men.
Hiking would be up 300%.
Nobody would be fat ever again. I'll find.
Studies have shown hiking is up 300% since Samara Weaving has showed up. But look at where they are. They're in the deep woods of Michigan. Now, don't get me wrong, Michiganites. I don't want to get more letters like I did from the people at a certain delivery service, which will remain nameless. But Michigan, it has its the Great Lakes. It has Detroit. It has Lansing. It has some places that you would want to look. This is not one of those. This is deep in the woods. Why would people from Australia, one of the most beautiful places in the world, want to be hiking here of all places? It doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense,
okay,
there's
right.
more to it.
Let me drop a thing to you, because obviously, I think we're closer to Australians, and in culture, foreign people like to travel. I know, American. You think your continent's like the entire world. Fair enough, okay, but there's this thing outside America called the world, right?
The world, you say?
Yes, it's called the world, right? And there's other
Right.
people, and we like to travel to places just to see them. And sometimes more random and obscure because everyone goes to the resorts. Everyone comes back and tells stories about the resorts. Everyone's been there. Everyone's been here. And the whole thing is, have you been there? No, because I have. And that's kind of how it happens.
But if you're traveling, why would you go to the deep remote woods of Michigan? It doesn't seem like one of the first places you would want to go to. But you know what? I like a good skeptic. And if I came to you with just this evidence, I would be with you. I would be on the case dismissed.
You have to work hard here.
But I'm just getting started, Fred. I have more evidence that these Australian hikers are not what they appear to be. So we had the line about they've been on a hike for a long time without seeing a guy. Well, there's more evidence. He says here, it's hard to see through the trees and the fog. The fog, did that evoke any memories for you about a particular movie that we've seen before and possibly reviewed on this channel? Because it did for me, friend. The fog, as seen in the others, where in that movie, the ghosts were trapped inside the fog, unable to leave, unable to penetrate, not even aware that they were deceased. And I think the exact same thing is happening here. I think these 3 Aussie hikers are actually ghosts, and they're within this quasi reality, this this place where they're unaware that they're actually dead. and I think the house brought them here. And I have more evidence for you because I could see a doubting Thomas.
Sorry, I'm just still traumatized by the Cole Kidman's acting in that movie.
Well, it's been a couple of years.
It just that was a flashback. I thought I'd managed to get over that and put it in the back of my memory, and you just brought it all back there in this one glance of moment. If it wasn't word E, you'd see the horror in my eyes as I remember her line delivery.
I'm contractually obligated to remind you every year to make you feel bad about that. But also, he says another thing. The guy hiker. He says, or she actually says, this is the fiance. He proposed to me by the light of the North Star. The North Star. See, this is something that, again, I think in their state of being quasi dead, not really aware of what's happening, I think they're confusing the North Star with this, the light at the end of the tunnel, as many people are proposed to to see as they approach the afterlife. I think that is what she's relating to. And further, the other one says, might be nice to have someone to keep me warm. Well, of course, because she's a cold, dead body. Now, listen.
I would say because you're not wearing very many clothes.
Well,
there to show, but each their own.
Yes. But if you look at all the evidence, it's clearly pointing to the fact that they are deceased and that the house brought them. But I have further evidence for you because I could see it. You're not quite on board yet. And I'm not sure if I got Flea on board. And if I don't have Flea, I don't have anyone. So look, next, he even says, we're at one with nature. Well, of course you are, friend. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You're one with nature because you're dead. And finally, my biggest piece of, well, actually coming up, my biggest piece of evidence. Pablo says, we live in the now, that they don't end up dead. A little bit of the dialogue got a little misconstrued, I guess. But
I really hope they don't end up dead. Was the
I think the subtitles were a little messed up.
Yeah, that's a bit messed up from saying
Yeah. But the point is that he's hinting to the audience they're already dead. Now, my best piece of evidence yet. I bet you looked at this and you were distracted by the boobies on the right. But I look past the boobies. Look at his shirt. Look at his shirt. And if we zoom in,
mini hooks,
and also 1972. Look, they've been dead for years, Fred. You missed it. A lot of people missed it. I don't miss nothing. These classes see everything. And the hooks. What does the hooks remind you of as it comes to horror? Of course, the murderer from I Know What You Did Last Summer. This is what happened. He killed the two women. These three are dead. And
that's where you're going?
The Australian hikers are ghosts. Or should I say, their bodies are already buried down under.
Oh, God.
What happened?
That is a true horror.
What just happened? Did I break the internet?
You just happened.
I've been told I'm very likely to break the internet at some point. Just like that chair, which will never be the same, sadly.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Okay, I'll back up now.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go, folks.
It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chris's crazy theory.
Oh, dear. Sorry.
Let's go to Flea.
I thought I was going to get a Hellraiser reference, but no, you went there.
Flea, what do you think? Do you think these hikers are dead, or they just happen to be Australian beautiful hikers that happen to run into them in the backwoods of Michigan? Whose side are you on, me or Colin? Let's start a poll.
Oh, dear. But a cool thing actually about that whole encounter was Kelly getting randomly jealous.
Yes.
Because one of the hikers sets her eyes on Pablo.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. And then coming off the previous episode where Pablo had the machine gun and you could see she was getting into it a little bit. I
No,
like
he
that.
had the RPG.
Oh yeah.
No, she
Yeah.
picked up the M16.
That's right. Yeah. But she's definitely getting into him, which is a fun character development.
Yeah, it's like, no, he's my toy thing in the friend zone. You not. uh, but yeah, I love the way you go back, and yeah, things just get like intense, like just more ramped up. So we get this like comedy scene, and then it just gets just more intense in the cabin.
Yeah, I thought again we've talked about pacing and balancing the comedy and horror. I thought the hikers were a great way to give you a little bit of a respite so that the entire episode isn't, in the cabin. I thought it was done really well.
Yeah, and that's it's not being overdone. We're not relying too much on nostalgia. We've still got the new and the old. It's all coming together. When Evil Ash 2.0 arrives, like poor Amanda, like no matter what was said about her not fitting in and that, like really, that's it. She's just gonna get taken out.
I was shocked. Like I said, when you're watching,
That's why I was trying to, you're asking me questions, and I'm trying to like go,
yeah.
you know.
It was great because, like I said, when it's a movie, you know that a character could die at any point in the movie because it's a finite 2 hours or hour and a half. So it works more successfully in a TV show because you know that you have at least 10 to 12 episodes. I think you said 10 this 1st season. So for this point in the season to lose one of the main characters, and maybe she comes back as a Deadite, I don't know, but I was shocked when he put that the cleaver on her her shoulder,
Your clavicle, yep.
clavicle. I was like, oh my god! And then he even makes a joke about it. Now that's what I call cleavage, which is funny. But in that moment, I didn't even laugh because I was just like, what?
That's when your brain just goes.
Yeah,
like she's not. You just know that moment she's not walking this off anytime soon.
right. And again, if it happened in the last episode of the season, it would be expected. But for it to happen now was a total shock. And I think that's great that the show is willing to take chances like this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's once again, it's good writing. The story, when the story takes precedence over the characters, I hate when everything becomes set. I mean, you got the hero character, blah blah blah. Are they're always going to survive everything, or keep going around in circles, or I mean, it's about the characters rather than the story, and that's where most shows fall apart because they get maybe 2 seasons in, and then they've painted themselves into a corner. They've nowhere to go. Yeah, you don't get that here. The story that is being told is the primary thing, and the characters just happen to be along. And if they happen to be here for 5, 6 episodes or the whole thing, so be it. But they serve the story.
Yeah.
And then the last episode makes sense. She's starting to open up to him. I mean, he's broken down her will, and it's possibly more than just a fling, and because the whole shared experience thing,
right?
Possibly a possibility of him having a partner, but no, they're not going to get. And the Deadites know this. That's why they're not. It's almost like they're not killing Ash, despite the fact he is very proficient.
Yeah, there was almost a moment where they were fighting by the window, and I mean, it's a little confusing which was which, obviously, but I got the impression that the hand Ash, I don't know how do you
Evil Ash, that's Evil Ash 2.
So Evil Ash had regular Ash by the window, like leaning out, and could have just pushed him, and I think they kind of brought him back in. And I think for just the reason that you were saying, they don't want him to just die. They want him to suffer. And so I think that's part of the reason why they wanted Pablo and Kelly there. Sometimes my theories mix in with the actual show, so I get confused. But I do think that the house wanted Pablo and Kelly, regardless of what you think about the.
They want anyone he gets connected to. They want to take their time. They want him to feel it.
Yes, yeah,
They want him to have feelings. They want him to make connections, and then they want to just strip it away from him and just punish him because he is the only one that's successfully stood up against them and thwarted their plans.
right,
Anybody else that Deadites come up against gets smashed.
yeah,
There's just no chance against them. But every time they come up against Ash Williams, yeah, it doesn't go their way, and they can't understand why because the character's an enigma.
right, right, right.
It's not your typical like kung fu, backflipping. He's not even a holy man of anything, any religious order. You know what I mean? He's just a bit of a prat, but this is what he does, and they can't defeat him.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of evil creatures, they prey on fear. They want that emotion. Besides just killing the person, they want to feel that
Mhm.
that they had that effect on them, on the victim. And the fact that Ash doesn't seem to have any fear, I think frustrates the Deadites. So
Yep.
if they can't get fear out of him, they want to get the sadness out of him, the
Yeah, pain.
loss, the pain. Yeah. So I feel that goes into some of their decisions where they could have killed him in a couple of instances, and they don't want that yet. They want him to suffer first. And I think it's a really cool story beat, and it explains why he survives some of these situations in a believable, meaningful way that doesn't detract from the story. It enhances the story.
Yep. But just in case you're under any misconceptions about Fisher, they're just going to make sure that you know where this is going. And it wasn't enough that you get the cleaver like straight onto the antlers of the moose head or the deer head.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we get even a flashback to her experience with her partner.
Yeah. Brutal. And her death took so long to take place that it was just very visceral. It was very like in your face, and yeah, you felt the sadness. Even though I wasn't crazy about her character arc, the length of time and the fact that you care about Ash and watching Ash watch her was very, very impactful.
Yeah, and just for that last scene, this is all building up for that last scene.
Yeah.
That's what the last episode was setting up.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, he felt that connection with her. Yeah, there's still the goofiness of it, but he felt that connection. He sees the three of them walking, determined to stand by him no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's why he goes off on his own. And then Fisher proves the point of why he did what he did.
Mhm.
She comes into the cabin with him. She dies. And the Deadites make sure it's not a clean death. And even Evil Ash could have carried on the fight. No, he disappears to let him feel the pain. Like, once again,
Yeah.
I can't stress how much I love this show because it gets you. It's clever. It's
Yeah.
not a dumb fest. It's proper storytelling and uses the comedy to as just a storytelling tool. But anyone that was looking for a more in-depth look at the Evil Dead, the whole Evil Dead lore, this show does it like in
Yeah.
spades.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. If anyone has seen any of the Evil Dead movies and liked any of them, and like me hadn't seen this show, you were definitely missing out. It is great. It takes the best elements of the movies and gives you an entire arc, instead of just a 90-minute,
Because
movie.
we actually get a wee bit of lore just before the end. We get a wee bit of lore exposition because Fisher
Yeah.
talks about Ruby. Because that's the setup, that he's going to meet Ruby and who she is, and then we also see the pages of the book, the professor's notes
Right.
from the
Yeah.
original movie, and the Kandarian daggers mentioned that something happens when it touches the flesh of the Necronomicon.
Right. 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 Oh, it's very cool.
You know what I mean? To get that little setup as well, and little lore teaser that's all leading to something.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'm bummed to have to wait 6 weeks. This is so good. It's
Yeah.
really good.
I know, but we'll have. I mean, the formula works because
It does. It does.
keeps it keeps it fresh as well.
Yeah.
But how do you fancy some Jason X? We were talking about this.
Yeah.
I think we need to do some Jason X
Let's do it.
as
Let's
a
do it.
standalone movie in the in space series before we go back to our friends the Critters.
If you liked, if you liked a killer on Earth, how could it not be better in space? It's just, it's bigger.
Yep. You will get a buzz out of this. Yeah, because obviously we're reaching the end of our current set of franchises, and we're obviously planning on the next one. But yeah, I think this movie, I think we'll have to have a wee look at it as a
like it.
standalone thing.
That'd be fun.
All right then. Thanks as always, buddy. Thanks for everybody watching.
Thanks, pal. Thank you, Flea.
I mean,
Thank you,
don't leave
everybody.
Flea alone in the chat, folks. I know you are watching or jumping in.
Yeah, no, everyone who comes in after the fact. I'm often one of those people that watch stuff after and not live.
Yep.
So, yeah, appreciate you all.
But there you go. Until next time, keep updated with the channel, do the type of things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.